Hey everyone, my name's Deborah, and I am here to give you the episode 4 review of Man Who Came from the Stars, You Who Came from the Stars, or My Love from Another Star. There's so many names, whatever you know it as, okay? But yeah, let's do this. So we start off where we left off last week with Sungi going to a wedding on a cruise ship, and Min Joon hearing about it through this announcement on this TV on the streets. And so Min Joon was then met up with Lawyer Jang and told him how she went on this ship still. And Lawyer Jang was asking him, dude, aren't you gonna go save her? You should save her, etc, etc. And he was trying to convince him on why he should go save her. And so Min Joon tries to justify his actions by taking us back to the past on a terrible occurrence that happened as a result of him helping someone. And that occurrence was with Yihua, in that when Yihua went back to her parents' house, her parents pretended to be happy to see her back home, and they even fed what's his name, Min Joon. And I was so scared when they fed Min Joon, because I'm like, oh my goodness, why do I feel something bad is in that food, or something bad is about to happen? And so that night, while she was sleeping, her mom came and her mom was trying to strangle her. And I'm like, oh my goodness, how can a mom kill her own child? It was just no for me, okay? But then luckily for us, we find out that the mom couldn't do it, and she stated that the daughter needs to run from home because the dad deems his status, his honor better than the life of his daughter. So she had to promise her dad that she will be the one to kill her own daughter. And I'm like, what a heartless father. But yeah, so yeah, she ran away from home, and she was told that something was going on with Min Joon, and she was scared, like, what did the dad do to Min Joon? And we find out that the dad tied up Min Joon, and he wanted to kill Min Joon, like, kind of in a way of saying, how dare you try to save my daughter? And I'm like, other dads will be taking this dude for saving your daughter, and you are killing this dude for saving your daughter? What kind of person are you, though? Anyway, so because of that, he kind of detaches himself from human interactions, and I'm glad that they put us back to that, because like I said, I was wondering, why did he do that? Why did he detach himself from human interaction? And so Le Jang reminded him that people still live on knowing that they will eventually die, and they love passionately as though there's no tomorrow. They'll still go about doing things that they do, okay? And that's just how life is, okay? And so he convinces him to go save her and asks him, will you be okay if something happens to her? Are you still gonna be confident that you're not gonna be upset, you're not gonna be mad, you're not gonna be bothered, etc? And so he kind of convinces himself that he doesn't care, and he goes home to watch TV. And on TV, he sees Sung Yi telling the story of her past and how she was saved by this mysterious guy, and she doesn't know he may not be her first love. And it was so hilarious, because it was like a slap in his face, telling him that, yep, she's the one. I need to start facing facts that she's the girl I saved in the past, and it can't just be denied, okay? And so after that, we move on to him, Min Joon, biking by the river and watching this large-scale search party that they were holding to find out who the person was that died, and to find the corpse for the person that died. And so when they finally find the body, we see that the body is wearing the same shoe that Sung Yi was wearing. And what came to my head was, oh my goodness, she died? Is the writer gonna kill her and like bring her to life miraculously, and she's an alien or something? Yes, I am just forming fake conspiracy theories that probably never gonna happen, but yeah. So we move from there to this policeman or detective who just wants to close the case, but there's this other prosecutor guy, Prosecutor Yu, who doesn't want to close the case, and he's still pondering over the whole situation. And he said he wanted to look over the CCTVs on the cruise ship again. And so we reverse back to what happened during the wedding, and we see how Jae-kyung comes to greet Sung-gi, etc. And so Sung-gi asks him if he's gonna marry Yura because Yura has been making noise about how she's gonna marry him, etc. etc. And he's like, no, I ain't gonna marry her. She just works for my company. And I'm like, oh my goodness, he's gonna kill her so soon. What's he doing on this ship? He's gonna kill her. He's gonna kill her. And then we move on from there to her, Sung-gi going to see the bride. And when she sees the bride, it's Victoria from FX. Right, yeah. Anyway, she met the bride, and when she met the bride, Yura came by and they were having an argument, and suddenly they started this whole modeling thing because they were wearing the same shoes. And I'm like, y'all can just be best friends, right? Y'all have so many similarities, it ain't even funny. But yeah, so they were having this whole modeling stuff, etc. And then next we see Semi goes to meet this director guy, and she was complimenting him for his movie, trying to find a way to kind of get casted into his movie. But then suddenly the perverted Pyeongtae started being all perverted with her, asking her to come see him later, etc. And so we see our awesome chaebol son. He comes, the son of S&C group. He comes and then he saves her, and he tells the guy how he will tell his brother, his Hyung, not to donate any money to the company, etc, to the whole production, and so it's not gonna be a good production. And it was just the most hilarious thing ever. I'm like, oh, he's so sweet though. And so Semi asks him, dude, what am I to you that you're fighting for me, etc. And he said, oh yeah, I'm your best friend forever's future husband. And that was just so sad though. But yeah, if you look at it another way, you can say, since she's his best friend forever, it might mean her husband. But yeah, there are many ways to look at it. That's how I saw it as though. I didn't see it as the other way that he meant. And so when they were having that conversation, they suddenly saw, Semi suddenly saw Sung-gi, and Sung-gi was by the ship ending, and she was really drunk, and that was the moment that the ship suddenly like turned or twisted or tilted, and suddenly Sung-gi disappeared. And so she was scared, wondering if Sung-gi had like been thrown off the ship. And what do we see next? She wasn't thrown off the ship because her fake fiance, the guy who wants to marry her, Hui Kyung, am I pronouncing it well? Yeah, Hui Kyung comes and he sees her in her room all tucked up, and so he takes her out of the ship. So right now we are sure that she isn't the one that died, but it's actually Yura that died because Yura was the only one that was wearing the shoe. And so he takes her off the ship. And next day we see Min Joon giving a lecture in class about the power of gossip, etc. And so we see how Sung-gi's case has been like spread all over the internet, and people are beginning to blame her for the death of Yura because they believe that Yura had depression and she committed suicide because of her fight with Sung-gi, and that just worsened the whole situation. And then Sung-gi receives a call about it and is told like, dude, you need to get out of your house right now. There's a serious situation going on with you. And we see how her brother also head of the case, and her brother was so mad, like, how can you tell such a lie about my sister? And I'm like, I told you he loved her. But yeah, and so he kicked a chair, and girls being girls thought that was pretty cool to see his temper. And I'm like, seriously, dude has temper issues. But yeah, anyway, next we see how Sung-gi couldn't enter. She left her house and she was told to go back into her house because the reporters had gained entrance into her house. And since she didn't know her passcode, what's his name? Min Joon came out of his house, and it was so funny because I think Min Joon came out of his house purposely because he heard that she was in a fix, and she begged him to gain entrance into his house, and she entered his house. And so when she entered his house, next we see the scene with Semi and her mother was trying to convince her or tell her that right now it's her turn to shine because Sung-gi is gonna come down, and Sia had told her that it's now her turn to shine because Sung-gi is gonna come down. And Semi was like, dude, what do you take me for? You don't really think I'm such a friend, right? I ain't gonna do that to my friend. I ain't gonna be laughing at her failure. And so Sung-gi was hungry, and she asked Min Joon for food, and so Min Joon goes out to buy food for her, and she doesn't realize it until he comes back. He returns with the food and he gives it to her, and that was just the cutest thing ever. I found it really funny when he went outside to meet the reporters were asking him questions. That was just so cute, and he's like, "Get out of my way," and he just walks. I'm like, ah, he's so boss. But yeah, so he brings the food for her and she eats after he denied her the chance to eat with her because she said she can't finish her food if he's not there or if she doesn't have company. And then she went to his library and saw his book about leaving Earth in 3 months, etc, etc. And so she starts going all around the houses, making noises, etc, etc. And when he found her with the books, he told her to leave his house, and she said how she can't leave the house because the teacher is meant to take care of a student. And he said, "Dude, I ain't never seen you as my student." And she's like, "Oh, okay, good." And then she starts speaking to him informally, and he's like, "How dare you speak to me informally?" Because, you know, he's like 400 and she's like 20 something or 30 something. And it was just so hilarious. And she's like, "Dude, why can't I speak to you informally? You said I'm not your student. How old are you for that matter?" And so she kind of blackmailed him. She stopped being all nice and cutie and asking, "Can I stay in your house?" But she kind of told him, "Dude, if I leave this house right now, we'll both be caught up in a scandal and your life will become noisy, and I know you don't want that." And that was just so hilarious because we all know how much he just wants to live a quiet life. And then next we see how Hui Kyung comes to check out